SNL analysis. SNL analysis. So this is episode 4. This is episode 4 in season 42. Tom Hanks is the host, and Lady Gaga is the musical guest. I don't review the musical guest, so let's get started. Tom Hanks the opening monologue, Trump versus Hillary, hilarious, an episode 10. Every joke landed, every bump, 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 hilarious. It just had you jumping up. It was just crafted so beautifully and so well that again, Kate McKinnon and Alec Baldwin are doing an amazing, amazing job, and they're really hitting it out of the park. So, you know, they're both absolute geniuses. It just, the whole 30 years thing, that was hilarious. The whole bingo thing, that was hilarious. The new the Republican candidate, that was funny. So I give him a 10. Now, Tom Hanks automatically comes in with a -1 because he's hosted before. Anytime you've hosted before, if you've hosted more than 10 times, you actually get a -2. So people are like, okay. Then we've got the opening monologue, iconic, absolutely iconic. Tom Hanks. I almost wanted to give him an extra point, but there's no qualifications for extra points for that. But it was iconic. Every joke landed. Every joke was powerful. It was just a very well crafted monologue that he just delivered so beautifully, and it was the reason why we love Tom Hanks, not just as an actor, but as a human being, and the ability to be able to communicate to the American people and just have a discussion on that level just was really, really American and really beautiful. And the whole the dad element, just it really, he hit it on the nail. So that was a 10. But don't get excited because there's some whatmas on here. Then we've got Black Jeopardy. Black Jeopardy was hilarious because you had the premise of this particular character. I'm not going to reveal a lot of things. I'm going to include the link to the episode so you can watch it yourself at npc.com. But in Black Jeopardy, it was like, and then all of a sudden you had that twist that was just hilarious. And it was beautiful also because it brought a sense of unity and sense of understanding and coming together. So that was really nice. That was really awesome. That was really beautiful. Then we have Block Party. Oh, I gave them a 10. To give them a 10 because again, every joke landed, every joke went through it. You sometimes you'll have straight people, and the straight man or a straight woman and then you'll have the comedic element. But in this particular element, every single one of the characters involved. Leslie, what is it? I forget her name. And yeah, so she is the Maida and Kenan Thompson, I think, and Tom Hanks. They all hit it out of the park. Really great job. Block Party, I gave them an 8. And the reason, because it was just, the song was good. It was funny. It got there. I think there was a couple of particular jokes by Melissa Villaseñor that I did not hear and I did not understand so well. So I just kind of didn't. I think she was the zombie in the situation. But there's some really funny jokes in it. But I give it an 8 because it had a flat ending. It just felt like it just didn't go anywhere. Then we had Broken. I gave Broken a 9 because I forget what Broken was about, but I know that I literally was like almost jumping out of my chair. And I guess I gave it a 9 because it wasn't that memorable. So that's one of the reasons. But I know it was a film commercial and it was really funny. That's what I vaguely remember about it. But again, it wasn't memorable, so I didn't get a 10. Then we've got David Pumpkins. I thought it was similar to the skit that they had before with the car ride and the elevator, and it worked as a gimmick. I think that it's really working. It's kind of like that laughing of the opening of the door kind of thing. That's really cool. And it worked. But I gave it an 8 just because I felt that there was a lot of opportunities, especially with the scary characters, to kind of go a little further and to just punch it up a little bit more without having it take away from the David Pumpkins. And I think that that's why Leslie did such an amazing job, because at the end with Leslie, and same with the skeletons, that was really funny. That was hilarious. So but I think at the beginning it took some time to kind of grab onto the pinnacle of this skit. So I think that it could have been shortened and it could have been funnier. So I give it an 8. Then we've got the Weekend Update. The Weekend Update. What is it? I gave them an 8 just because some of the jokes I didn't hear laughter. I didn't sense laughter. I didn't think they were funny. I might watch it again just to be like, But off the top of my head, I remember writing down 8. I gave Leslie an 8. Now, I love Leslie, don't get me wrong. But this happened a while back, and I think that when it starts getting into that personal atmosphere, I think that that's when, and I'm going to bring that up later, when it starts getting into that personal atmosphere, that's when it's a little bit of an issue, because it's like, it happened over the summer. We're over it. You know what I mean? I think she did a great job with it, but I think it wasn't topical. So I think that that's, and plus the issue has already been addressed previously in a skit before. So I think that, the question is how, like, it just, there's so many different questions that can be addressed from that particular situation. But I gave it an 8. Sorry, Leslie. I still love you though. I follow you forever. And then what did I give another 8? Oh, overall, there was a 10 in there. I forget what was the other thing that I gave the 10 to. Oh, the girl that you don't want to talk to at. Oh my gosh, she just, wow. Like, I gave her a 10 because I love that character, Cecily Strong. That particular character, the girl that every word, every single word that she says, the way she says it, it just knocks it out of the park. So I love that character. I hope has her own like whole movie. That's one of those characters that you could take and run with and make their own movie. Then we've got Sully. Okay, so overall they got an 8 because it was an 8 and an 8 and a 10. So overall 8.6, they got an 8. Sully, horrid. I'm sorry. Horrid. And the reason why I said horrid, maybe because I wasn't one of the few people that didn't see Sully, but I think that this is an American hero or not an American hero, and we're making fun of him or not making fun of him. I wasn't confused, and even the jokes there weren't really funny. I think if they wanted to, and also Sully is a movie that already came out. I think there's so much more that they could have done with the movie that is coming. If Tom Hanks is coming in to promote a movie like The Demons and Daggers or whatever it's called, Inferno, right? He could have totally gone into an Inferno skit and done something with that and played around with it. Or even, Big, take from Big and play around with that whole element. And there's so many beautiful and beloved movies that Tom Hanks has done that have regular airplay that Sully is kind of like, it came out, it was reasonable blockbuster. A lot of people saw it, and people know about the story, but do they know, is that Sully's character? Is that how Sully is? Is the joke? So you have to have seen the movie in order to understand. So you know what I mean? So I give them a 3 because it just, no. Then we've got Girls Halloween. I did not think this was funny. I just thought it was just drunk girls. And I didn't think that, and even with the drunk girls, I think there was some funny moments, but it wasn't really. Where I just checked out completely is at the vomiting. I completely checked out at the vomiting because I have an issue with any of that kind of stuff. And Saturday Night Live has utilized, projectile stuff and things like that, and that's cool for them. But for me personally, it completely checks me out. And this was realistic. It wasn't like, the hose up the sleeve. This was straight up, Cecily Strong being an actress. So it just totally threw me out. So I give them a 2. Yeah, I gave them 2 because it wasn't funny and it just wasn't. And then on top of that, not being funny, I just threw up on it. Then we've got The Imitation of Ron Howard. I thought this was, and same with Sully. I thought this was self-gratifying. I love Tom Hanks. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt that no one really Ron Howard is like, does he really look like that? Like, that was just, I don't think that was a good impression of Ron Howard at all. But I think that what brought Cecily and, I forget her name because she wasn't featured much in this. Well, no, she was because she played Hillary. But I forget her name at the moment. But they did a great job with the French, communicators about the funny jokes. And the jokes were really funny. But I just felt that Tom Hanks just wasn't. There's so much more, again, that Tom Hanks could have done and could have brought it a little bit better. So I gave it a 7. Overall, they get a 74. They got a 75 out of 10 skits. And that comes out to but -1, so it's 74, so they got a 7.4. So is the 7.4 good? It's enjoyable. And as you can tell, one of those particular skits will And the reason why I caution for those particular elements is because Saturday Night Live as a whole is an experience. It's a choo-choo train that you're on. So it's, if you hit that bump, and even if you have to really have that amazing skit that is going to follow it. So with Girls Halloween and then The Imitation of Ron Howard, because I think the celebrities got to be careful because, from yes people, like, oh, Tom Hanks, you're so awesome. You can just do anything great. I was like, no, double check that. Double check that. Is that really funny? Is that really the impression of what's his name? Ron Howard. And is Ron Howard really topical enough to have this particular situation? There's so many. Maybe there's other impressions that Tom Hanks could have done. See, it becomes this Hollywood thing, like, oh, I worked with Ron Howard. Look at me. And then this is what Ron Howard's all about. It's just like, it seems self-gratifying because, again, we bring in the Sully situation. I don't know. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want to wish you all a wonderful year. I want to leave it with the note that I love Tom Hanks. Don't get me wrong. But, it's a growing moment. In my eyes, I say it with love. Thank you, and I wish you a wonderful year.